What is up, family? Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live. Now, I'm your host and international award winning Make Every Second Count speaker. And I'm so pumped up to say that. I'm pumped up to always say that. I'm pumped up for every moment in life. And as you can probably tell, I'm still struggling with my voice some, but that's all right. Life goes on. But so I have brought a great guest on tonight. And I ask you guys if you would please, please, please share this episode out. Invite all kinds of people to watch it. And don't forget to give us all kinds of thumbs up, hearts, cry faces, frowny faces. Heck, you can even get mad at us. I don't care. Just help us trick the algorithm on one of the socials that we're on. Also, I ask you if you would please keep the comments coming. We want to have more of a conversation than just make a presentation. So ask all the questions you like. But with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Mr. Rick. Hey, Rick, how are you this evening?
I am dependable, responsible, trustworthy, outward focused, loving, courageous, blessed, and healthy. Thank you for that.
Yes, I absolutely love that little thing when I ask you how you are. That's amazing. He did that when he first got on at 6:55. I
Yep.
was like, wow, that really sets the tone for an amazing thing.
Yep. Yep.
So, if you would like to take it away, Rick, I'm going to be inviting a few people on my phone, but tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
My name is Rick Salmeron. I'm an independent financial advisor in Dallas, Texas. And I work with many families, households. I serve them in a very outward focused capacity because that's one of my beingnesses. But I help individuals like that who are taking off in life and don't have a lot of time on their hands, and they really don't want to press pause on life and stop their momentum so they can become a money expert anytime soon. But I want them to help make smart decisions with their money.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that money is everything. However, as Zig Ziglar would say, it ranks up there with oxygen. And it's my view that it supports just about every aspect of one's life. So when I help people grow their wealth, I help them grow their life. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's a great thing that you are doing. And I have to say that helping other people, especially with money, is a fantastic and admirable trait that you have.
Thank
So
you.
I thank you very much. But I have to say that I know from my own personal experience. You see, when I was 17, I was involved in a life altering car accident.
Mm,
I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. I wasn't supposed to be walking, but guess what I'm doing? I'm walking now.
mhm,
And I want to show everybody out there that you can get through anything.
mhm,
And everybody out there faces something, whether it's just something minor or something large. Everybody does it.
mhm.
But there's one thing that I think that we have to realize, first of all, and that is we need to grow through situations,
Mhm.
not just go through situations, but we need to learn the lesson that that situation is there to teach us. So, has there been anything in your life that you have had to grow through?
Oh, several things. I cannot claim to the depths of an almost fatal car accident like yourself. I would say looking back, I'm able to clearly define my lower, if not lowest points in life only by looking in my, well, to use the comparison, my rear view mirror. Because in my case, there wasn't a sudden life event that I can say, oh my God, this happened and that happened. I think in my case, and perhaps many people can relate to this, those things, those events were subtle moments that built up over time. If I'm 60 years old, whether you're 30 years old or 10 years old or 40 or what have you, life is full of downs. And we have to realize that when we were born, we were born with strength. We were born with courage. We were born with bravery, whether we realize it or not. And the best way, one of the most effective ways, as hard as it is for me to say, to bring that quality out of us is when we run into hard times. So for my own sake, when I look back, I'd say the divorce, my first divorce, I'm married now for a second time to an amazing and lovely woman, and we're as happy as pigs in mud, as they would say. But while I was in my first marriage, there was, I had good times, don't get me wrong, and we produced two amazing, wonderful children. There are many times that I loved and cherished about that period of time, but there were also a lot of bad times too, that I really didn't understand when I was in the moment. I really didn't understand how tough it was. Do you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people can look back and pinpoint now, looking back, gosh, that was a really hard time for me. And I didn't really realize it. And you become so focused. You got blinders on. I had blinders on.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the kind of situation that I was in. And I mean, I never wanted to divorce. I never wanted that to happen. I didn't see myself getting married again. That was not in the cards, but that's exactly what happened. And looking back, that was a good thing. I'm glad that happened, because I wouldn't be at the happiness level that I am now, and the level of life that I am now. But to kind of wrap up my answer, to answer your first question, I had some dark times during that period of time. I don't regret that window of time for many reasons. I did have a wonderful two children. I did have a lot of great experiences, but there were also some not so great experiences. And when those great, not so great experiences happen with all of us, we find ourselves growing, right? We find ourselves overcoming and surpassing hurdles, just like you have, Jeff. I can only imagine what you went through. 2.5 months in a coma, 3.5 months in the hospital. Now look at you. You are radiant. Your radiance shows because of what you went through. I don't think that you wouldn't probably have this show.
No.
And for that, am I right? You wouldn't have the attraction that you bring in with other people. You wouldn't be doling out, and whether you realize it or not, spilling out this inspiration. I've only known you for 10 minutes. And now I'm thinking, gosh, look at this guy. He went through something that I'm not even sure I could, but maybe I could, because I probably have the same level of strength and courage that you do too. So anyway, those dark times, they suck. But on the other end is, with the law of polarity, the opposite is also there too. And that's greatness. And that's what we all have as human beings.
Yeah, that's so true. One of the things that I like to do is tell people to put your hand right here. Ask them if they feel that. And they say, yeah, they're confused. I'm just like, what is that? They said, well, that's my heart. Like, no, not in this. Well, technically it is your heart, but I'm using it as a metaphor. I'm saying this is your greatness, and it's always inside you. You just have to learn to bring it out. You just have to learn to let the world see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't leave it in here, but don't pull your heart out. I want to clarify that. Don't pull your heart out,
No,
because that wouldn't be good.
no,
but
not that way.
yeah, you just want to metaphorically pull it out
Hmm.
and let people see it
Yep.
because you guys are all great. You all have infinite power. You
Hmm.
just haven't tapped into it probably.
Hmm. Yep. I would say to that, if I may, I did this exercise myself years ago, and what that exercise is, and I'll share it with you now, is to bring to mind, if you're wanting to pursue something in life, whatever it is, an incredible relationship, an amazing business, a high level of income, whatever the case, some magnificence somewhere, and bring to mind someone that you know, or at least someone that you know of that's already made it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you bring that person to mind, have that image, that person's face in your mind, you see that person where they're at now. Ask yourself, if they're there, why not me then? How come not me?
Yeah.
Because when I consider a small child, just think of a small child, a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old. What are some of the incredible qualities that a young child has? What are some of those that come to mind? They're eager, they're courageous, right?
They're tenacious.
They're tenacious. Yes, they're urgent. When they are in the toy store and they see something on the shelf, when do they want that something on the shelf? Do they want that next week or
No, they want it now.
now, right now? So these qualities of the small children, are they unique just to children born in Asia
No,
or the United States or
no,
just boys, not girls? No, like
no.
all is all. Okay.
Yeah.
So I consider all of this and I think of, say, the person who's reached some level of magnificence that I am pursuing. And I think that person, just like me, was born with the exact same qualities.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but I've got it in me to dig out and to put that in motion, add that to fuel in my tank to get to that level. It might not happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight for them either.
Mm.
But with that tenacity, with that courage and that strength, things can happen.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've never actually considered that. That's a wonderful insight that you just pointed out to me that we all had those things at one time. But why is it that the world tends to talk us out of those things?
Well, it's because what happens as we're children, I mean, we're born, we're in the toy store. We see the toy on the shelf. When do we want it? We want it now. So we say, Mommy, I want that now.
Yeah,
What's the response that we get?
no.
No. Or some version of that word, no. And that's no criticism on mom and dad. I'm a dad too. I get it. I get where we have to draw boundaries. We have to create boundaries for our small children as we grow up. However, these life events occur. They could be very small, they could be very subtle, but these versions of no we receive, and while our cement is still drying, we process that and we create belief systems about the world, about how it operates, about how we are as young children and as people. We start to create and form our limiting beliefs while we're children, and half of those are already made by age 9, and the other half, almost the other half, by age 18 are complete. So when we enter our adult years, we've already got a very good idea in our subconscious of the kind of person that we are and the kind of world that we're living in. And that's what happens. The limiting beliefs occur. And I'm saying this because this happened to me. This has happened to anyone. Those limiting beliefs are ready to go. My subconscious is in place, ready to protect me from the evils of the world, to protect me from all the badness, or at least what I consider to be badness, and all the warning signs. It's there to protect me from harm. That's all it cares about, it being my subconscious. So and then what happens because of that, these great qualities of strength and courageousness and bravery and so on, they get dampened. They get dampened. That's just how it happens. And it's really hard to bring them back out, but they're inside there. They're inside there. And once I
It's
was
just like your
aware
great.
of that, then I started to right the ship. I started to turn my life trajectory from one end to the other and find that strength and really make things happen for myself.
Wow. That is a great story, and I thank you for sharing it. That is just amazing. That's like so I'm curious. Um what what is this life altering power that we all have that we can use to what?
Well, there are many life altering powers that we have. However, in my capacity as an independent financial advisor, as you can imagine, many people come to me and they ask, "Hey, Rick, where should I put my money? Where should I invest my money?" and so on. And my response is not this XYZ fund or this ABC stock. If I had one choice on anything, it would be this one superpower, and that's my self-esteem, my self-estimate. Why is that? Because if you consider how you size yourself up, if you consider your self-estimate, your self-esteem, it is like a silent partner. It's really your subconscious, but it's your silent partner that's resting on your shoulder, whispering sweet nothings in your ear, answering the question that comes up every single freaking day of, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? Am I worthy? Do these things sound familiar? And if that self-esteem is really low, the answer to those questions are no. No, if I don't believe in myself, if I'm not my biggest fan, if I'm not loving myself, then sure, I don't deserve the better, I don't know, house. I don't deserve the relationship. I don't deserve I'm not worthy enough for that great business. I'm not good enough to be working with, higher level people, whatever that might mean to you. When you start to believe in yourself, though, when your self-esteem rises, it's the driver of every single decision that you make, every action that you take or they don't take comes from your self-esteem. When you consider that, and when you really consider that, that spills into just every angle of your life, your money decisions, that exercise class that you did or did not go to, what you do for dinner tonight, or what you do during your spare time, what you feed in your mind, in your ears, in between your brain, what do you read, what do you watch, how do you spend your quality time? Is it with your family, or is it with somebody else or something else or no one else? All of these things that are very small actions that add up to, these are like seeds that you plant every single day that grow and germinate into the results in your life. And all these seeds are all driven by your self-esteem.
So that actually is another fantastic insight that you have had. I want to add that one of my big things, one of my uh, practical life altering powers, I think, is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, I have two gratitude guides to gratitude. One for kids 10 to 14. The other one is for people over 15 years of age. And the cool thing about them is they're available for free. All you have to do is go to my website at www.jeffmarconette slash or wait, jeffmarconettejr.com/members, and then you enter a little information and they are there to download, and you're gonna love them, I promise. But I'm curious. So let's say somebody doesn't have self-esteem. Here, I got a better one. So you said after your first divorce, I'm guessing your self-esteem took a pretty big hit at that
Yeah,
time
sure did.
because you said you had some dark days. And how did you get to the point where you could see that your self-esteem was lacking and that you needed to bring it up?
I wasn't aware of that at that time.
Oh,
As you can believe, I mean, I had blinders on.
bummer.
How I discovered it, however, was I took a 3-day class. It's really my first foray into personal growth and personal development. In fact, the at that time I was dating this girlfriend. I was, as I said, freshly divorced. I was not getting married again. It wasn't going to happen because if I did, I would just get divorced again. It was marriage's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was marriage's fault. Right. So my girlfriend at the time, though, said, Rick, you should really check out this 3-day class. It did me great wonders. It's been fantastic. And maybe this might help you also. And I really, inside myself, I really took offense to the suggestion. Like, what's the matter with me? There's nothing wrong with me. What are you talking about? That's what my heart said. I told her yes, but my heart said no. But I wanted to support this relationship with his girlfriend. So I went to the class. I figured I would leave, come back, give her my report card, and that would be done with it. And we would be on our way, on our merry way. Well, it was these 3 days. Have you ever seen an IMAX movie
Yeah.
before? Or I was recently at Las Vegas and I went inside and I saw the postcard from Earth and the sphere. It's
Oh,
it's like
wow.
IMAX, on steroids.
Yeah.
So it's the IMAX movie is so revealing. It's so engulfing. You feel like you're right there, right?
Yeah.
That's how this class was. It was a 3D experience of myself, Mr. Know-it-all that's walking around with blinders on, not realizing he can't see a whole lot about himself. But when you put yourself in a personal growth position, you discover a lot of things about yourself that you didn't know. And that's what happened to me. And it was during this class that I discovered this self-esteem thing. I discovered many things, but that was one core thing that I discovered. And that's when the light bulb went off. That's when this power level, the switch inside me went from off to on. And so many things changed in my life. But one of the things that did change that was instantaneous is that girlfriend that told me about the class. She's now my wife. He is who I married, the guy that was not getting married again. So
Yeah,
that,
that's a cool twist.
yeah, that was a cool twist. And since that was back in 2017, and since then, it's not something, personal growth and self-esteem is not something that you infuse and you jettison and it stays at that level forever. It's like practicing the golf swing. It's like you have to replenish the bucket. Otherwise, it will dry up and it will evaporate. But when you replenish it, it replenishes at even a higher and better level. That's one of
So
the great
it's
things
like
about it. There
this.
you go. There you
It's
go. You want to fill that
empty.
cup in, man. You want to fill that cup with some magical stuff, and you can do that. But that's how it happened with me. That's how it happened
Well,
with me.
that's a very neat story. I love that that girlfriend became your wife,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You couldn't see yourself getting married
Mhm.
again, and you married that
Yeah.
girl.
And what I would
That's pretty
I would
cool.
add what I learned about that, if I may, Jeff, was if I wanted, and I did, if I wanted a great relationship with someone, if I wanted a trusting, loving, caring, incredible relationship with someone, I had to be trusting,
Yeah.
loving, caring, incredible. I had to learn how to be so that I could attract what I was looking for. It
Yeah.
wasn't going to happen without me changing. It's not easy to change, but great things require great strength and great effort. We
Yeah,
don't get the magnificent things in life without a lot of effort. They go
No.
hand in hand.
Yeah. So let's say what are like what are the like two ways that people could develop self-esteem pretty easily? I mean, I don't want it to be extremely difficult,
Yeah.
but I want them to realize that these are practical steps that they can take now. Because just like that little kid, we want things now. We don't want things in the future.
hmm I would say it comes down to habits. Habits.
Habits.
Just consider consider where you want to be in your life. Is it a professional? Is it personal? Or is it both? Is it a great relationship? Is it better health? Is it higher income? Is it a successful business or more of a successful business? And assess, add up, measure up the habits every single day that you're doing day in and day out. Imagine that you've got a drone camera that's hovering around your head from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to bed. And that drone is videoing you, recording you with every movement that you make throughout the entire day. And at the end of the day, you and only you get to watch this video replay. And just notice what are you doing? Now, I'm talking about an imaginary drone, but you can do this by writing things down. You can jot down notes. Just notice and be self-aware about the actions that you're taking and the actions that you're not taking or avoiding. And do those actions add up to someone who has a high self-esteem, someone who is that magnificent person or that caring person or that loving person or that responsible person? Are these actions adding up to the beingness that you need to be to pursue, if not acquire, the success that you are looking for? So I would suggest it goes down to the actions that you take every single day or that you don't take. They are all grains of sand, these actions. Your life is not going to change because of some exterior event, you winning the lottery or some family member is giving you this major league inheritance. That's not going to happen. What is going to happen is what you do. And these grains of sand, these actions that you take or that you don't take, you're going to either build a very dull, boring mound of sand or a beautiful sandcastle. It's going to be one of those two things. And it's up to us, up to you to decide how you want that sandcastle to look like.
Wow. Well, I want a beautiful sandcastle.
So do I.
Yeah. So that's some practical steps that people can take here. And wow, I didn't even
It's as
notice.
simple as that. It's not easy, but it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And I just looked down at the time. It's already 7:29. That time flies when you're having fun. I
That's
want to say hi to Robert Booker, hi to Barbara, hi to my dad, hi to Jeremy, hi to Dustin, and hi to Jess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Robert, for commenting. He said that truth behind every overnight success is about 10 years of consistent effort.
Yep.
So he's right on it there.
It is.
But Rick, I'm sorry to say that we're out of time.
It's
Do
okay
you
because it's time to start taking new action now.
Yeah, there you go. Do you have any contact information you would like to give out?
Sure. You can go to my website, salmeronfinancial.com. You can search my name on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. We can connect that way if you're looking for some insightful I'll call them mini light bulb moments with your money. I like to post that kind of stuff on my social media. So we can connect that way.
That is fantastic. But I need you, Rick, and everybody out there, including you, Robert, who is in the comments saying, Jeff, it was a pleasure to watch tonight's episode. But you guys have to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. You have to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one life. Guys, I'll see you back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, you have a fantastic week. Thanks again, Rick. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.